Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with David Embrey. He's the Edmonson County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. You know a lot about firewood.
When you're burning firewood, if you're going to cut it yourself or if you're going to buy it or whatever, the number one thing to know is make sure that you're getting the right type of wood. Now there's different types of trees. There's softwood trees and there's hardwood trees. You hear a lot about hardwood trees in the timber industry, but those are important for firewood too because they're more dense, they're packed tighter, and they are going to give you off more long-term heat. Now the softwoods do have a place, believe it or not. A lot of people don't think they do, but they do, because they're lighter and they'll burn faster and they'll catch fire faster, and so you can use a little bit of softwood for your kindling to make sure that you get that fire started quicker. But the hardwood is what you're going to mainly go with. Now, there's several different types of hardwood. I've got some examples here. This is some hickory bark, some shagbark hickory. All your hickory species are hardwood. This is another species of hickory right here. This one is a red oak tree. And this one, depending on who you talk to, this is a maple. However, it's a hard maple, not a soft maple. But your hardwood versus your softwood is a big thing. A
lot of people have fire pits, or they go camping, or they need some source of fire.
Same thing applies if you're doing it, for a barbecue, or if you're doing it just to sit out and watch the fire glow. Say you're going to do your fire pit in the wintertime, roast some marshmallows or something. It's the same basic principle as heating your house. You're going to want to have some of that hardwood, but you're going to want to get it started with the softer wood so it'll start burning quicker, and so that you can get those dense, more tightly packed logs to burn. Now
you mentioned this is a hard maple. How would people tell the difference?
Without studying it, you're not going to be able to know, but you need to look it up. In the timber industry, it's still considered a soft wood, but you can kind of feel by the weight. Now this wood has dried out for quite a while, and so that's something else that's important. It's dry weight, because all wood obviously has a lot of water in it when it's alive. A living tree is mostly water, just like the human body. But you've got to remember that you've got to dry it out, because if it's wet, you're having creosote buildup in the chimney, you're having smoky house, and so it's a dangerous thing. So you want it to be dried out. Now it needs to dry a bare minimum of 3 months before you burn it. The ideal is 1 year. If you can kind of see the color of this wood, it's not real bright. It's kind of got a dull, it's kind of got a gray color. And so this wood has dried for about 9 months now.
So if you're purchasing firewood, that's definitely something to look for.
Yes.
If it's still green, it just won't be as dull?
Right. Now, depending on what time of the season you're purchasing it, say you're purchasing it in February or March for next year, then if it's green, make sure you have it somewhere stacked where it can air out, air can get through it. You want to have these cracks. You can see the crack right here, and so that's cracked. That means it's drying out really good. But you want to store it somewhere where it's not going to be all condensed up, and make sure you've got a cover on it, because wood can reabsorb water as well.
All right, David, now if I'm out purchasing wood, cord, rack, explain that to me.
Generally, a cord, and I have to look it up all the time, but generally a cord is a neatly stacked pile of wood that's 4 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet by 20 inches long. But now it depends on your stove. What are you burning in? Things like a face cord, a stack, fireplace cord, and a rick. So it depends on where you're purchasing it from and who you're purchasing it from, and prices are all over the place. And so you need to make sure that when you're buying it, you're getting it from somebody that you trust, and you've inspected it, and you know when you're going to burn it and how you're going to burn it.
But it's important to buy it as local as possible, because there are insects and different things that if you were to purchase it somewhere else and bring it in, you have the opportunity to introduce that insect.
Make sure that you're buying it somewhere as local as possible, like you said, but also make sure that you understand there are going to be bugs in it anyway. And so if you have firewood left over that you didn't use, you might want to stack it away from your house, because that can invite insects, all kind of wood-eating insects, and they might eat some of the wood in your house if you're not careful.
Do we have any information at the university about firewood?
We sure do. We sure do. On the Forestry and Natural Resources page, there are several. I got some of the information that I've shared with you today from that. And so you can go online and you can look it up, or you can come into one of our offices and we'll get it for you.
We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show. Have a great day.